I started dancing, man. I get hyped for the music. Good morning, everybody. So we didn't really have any technical difficulties today, which was a surprise to me because I'm so used to having them. Um, but I guess since we don't have them, I have 5 minutes of blank information to give. I'm so used to trying to fix something when we first start. So we do. Oh, somebody talked in the chat already. Sade, good morning. Hey, look, we got action already, but we didn't get started. So everyone, we have our guest speaker with us today. Her name is Tony Reddick, and she's going to be talking about insurance, health and life, the importance of it, how business owners can use it, how you all can use it, because it's not just for business owners. Obviously, 9-to-5ers, self-employment, all insurance is insurance. It's needed for every industry. Every person should have it, whether it's to protect yourself and your family or to use as investment money. It's different ways to go about doing it. So good morning, Tony. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys? Thank y'all for having me.
I am good. Shanice, you good over there?
You think you keep turning from the camera? No, look, momming on, and this is the technical difficulty that we were talking about. Baby AJ came through and stole my water bottle. So yeah, now I have no water.
All right. So to get started, before we open up the Q&A, you guys know I always apologize. I'm still working on Instagram. I'm sorry, guys. So our stream only shows us selected amount of comments. I'm streaming in multiple groups. The ladies are streaming on their personal pages. I can only see what Restream pops up for us, which I'll show you guys here. So you can see the comment section there. When comments come through, that's all we can see. If you guys are talking on any of the platforms and I am not actively responding to you, that just means I can't see it, and I want to apologize beforehand. I'm not ignoring you. It's just I can't see anything. So if you are commenting, ladies, if you got like an extra phone or anything like that, what I normally do is like I have my phone up to try to grab one of the other sections that aren't popping up here to pretty much ask the questions. My TikTok. I'm sorry. Let me grab. I gotta go live on my TikTok too. Okay, so Tony, there's my technical difficulty. I need to go live on my TikTok. While I'm doing that and setting it up, can you tell us, just about a little bit about you, what you do, how long you've been in business, and things like that?
Sure. Okay. So my name is Tony. I'm the owner of Free Your Finances. So I've been in the financial sector for about 8 years, starting with taxes, and then I received my health and life insurance in 2015. And from there, I have branched out to do credit repair, notary services, and pretty much just trying to be well-rounded in the financial sector, pretty much.
Okay, cool, great. Shanice, do you have anything for her before we start going crazy?
No, not really. I'm just ready to dive right in.
Evelyn, finally I made it. She said, finally I'm She was typing too fast. That's the excitement. Hey, Evelyn, good morning. All right, so everybody, if you're just popping in, like I said, we are asking Tony insurance-related questions. So if you guys on TikTok have questions, feel free to ask me here. If you guys on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, feel free to access on the Restream. We'll pause Tony as often as we need to make sure that we're getting all the questions asked. And we can get started. Let's go. So, and we don't have a list of questions. I really only have 3 questions. We can kind of freestyle the questions based on what you guys are asking and things like that. But the first question is, what is the difference between term and perm?
All right. So term is pretty much like your policies that you'll receive just for those death benefits. So you're not really accumulating any cash value with those. It's more like a use it, you lose it kind of policy unless you get return of premium. So you'll live out that term for, hopefully you don't outlive the term of the policy, and then you'll just get that cash benefit at the end. Whereas in other situations, if you outlive their policy, then you'll just pretty much lose that money. The difference with that, with permanent insurance, like your whole policies or your index universal life policies or things like that, is those obtain cash value to where you can use that as like an OPM or other people's money.
Okay, so let me give an example. If I have a term policy, that's not a policy where I can like take money from. Is that just a
Correct.
like when I die type of policy?
Correct. So the only way that you will be able to receive any money from a term policy is if you have a return of premium rider on it. So essentially, there will be all the premiums that you've paid into that policy. You'll be able to get that if you outlive that policy, but there is no cash value that's being built.
Okay, and I don't want to say that's bad, but I mean I feel like in simpler terms, that policy is only good for when you die, pretty much.
Yes, but it's also more affordable. So, it gives people the option to be able to get a policy in force.
Okay, so I'm gonna carry on just from that. Is there like a minimum? And I know, I have life insurance. Is there like an age barrier that determines what someone's insurance would be, or how do you guys determine? Is it a system thing, or how do you guys determine like what someone will pay? Is it age, race, health? What factors go into that?
Definitely age and health. So with your term policies, they're definitely more lenient, but it's always better to get any type of policy when you're younger, because that way you can kind of maximize their death benefit.
Okay, so like somebody that's 17 would pay less than somebody that's 37 for the same type of policy.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and then somebody that if two 33-year-old men, if one smokes like heavily cigarettes and drinks alcohol, in comparison to the other 33 man that does nothing, the healthier man would have a cheaper policy.
Yes. So with that, you would go to like a guaranteed issue type of policy to where you would get that death benefit amount, or you would get a graded policy, which is usually the people that have health issues, like if they smoke or if they have like a pre-existing condition kind of.
Okay. Now, and I don't want to go too crazy with it, but let's just say, I think do they do that because they're saying, okay, the older you are, the more likely you are to die. They want to make sure that they get some money out of you before you die.
That's exactly what I mean. You hate to say it like that, but I mean, they're using the asset just like you're using them. So they want to make sure that this makes sense to them. They're not going to give you $1 million policy if chances are you're probably going to pass away next year.
All right, so we going into term. TikTok guys, feel free to ask questions. I'll ask them for you, and as well as everybody else. So let's switch to perm now. Term is just for when I die. Perm. Wait, we were talking about term, right?
We were talking about both, kind of, but right now we're saying term policies.
So let's switch over to perm. What is like the major difference, or if you can have one, but what would you consider like the major difference? Obviously, if term is just for money for my family when I die, what is an added benefit of perm that I could do while I'm still alive?
Well, the key point is to be able to accumulate the cash value. So permanent policies are the only ones that can do that. So those are the whole life policies or the index universal life policies, to where if you pay your premium, part of it is going to go toward the death benefit, while another part is going to go towards something that's going to increase interest. So you'll be able to accumulate money on top of that cash value. You kind of follow it. Okay.
So, well, I heard you say cash value. I love that word, value, cash and value.
It's another thing too.
Is there any way for me to like use that money while I'm still living? Like,
yes. So that's pretty much what I'll be discussing today. I also wanted to touch on, with permanent policies, you're able to have those living benefits. So you can use it if you were disabled, or if you needed long-term care in the future, or if you needed if you were recently diagnosed with like cancer or something like that, you'll be able to pull from those policies pretty much to use it while you're living.
Okay, and that's huge benefit. We'll talk more about that later when we get the slideshow going. So we got that. Let me ask the next question. So, why key players should get life insurance in business? I'm guessing by this question they may have meant like millionaire entrepreneurs or bigger level entrepreneurs. But why should they get life insurance in business?
Okay, well, first let me say what key person life insurance is, because a lot of people don't really know what that term is. So it's a life insurance policy that a business takes out on the most valuable employee, which would be, in like your case, the CEO, so the owner. So your business would essentially take out a life insurance policy on it, and they would be the beneficiary of it. So that means in case you were to pass away, the money would go to that business, and then it wouldn't be subject to anything that's owed from the actual person that's insured. You follow? Because they would be the beneficiary. So that means, let's say, for instance, if you were to get a policy, this is how wealthy people use like other people money, and they use this as infinite banking. So they would in turn get a life insurance policy. The business would get one on the key person. The business would pay the premiums up for the year, because there is like a max that you can put in there for cash value. They would be generating interest toward that money that they've already paid toward that policy, to where they're able to pull that money out in a quicker period of time.
Okay, and so is that
the death benefit?
So pretty much, is there like a max? I guess I don't even know how to ask this question. Is there like a max cap that I can pay into that policy to pull money out, or?
Yes. Now that would be dependent on what the actual death benefit is, because you can't put more. You won't be able to pull more of the cash value out than what the policy is actually worth. So what they do is they will get a low death benefit IUL product. Then they would max fund that policy for the first annual year, to where after that they are able to pull the cash out. But it's not going to be as much as your death benefit is. So it's essentially like you're paying yourself the whole time. And you can use it in different strategies. So you'll be able to use it as like working capital. You can use it as a setup retirement for if you want to retire at like 45, if you put enough money in there, then you can set it up like annuities work, to where it'll pay you a certain amount every month, and you still won't be taking money out their death benefit, because you're still accumulating interest off that cash value.
Okay, shoot, that's huge. That sounds like, is that all right? Question. This is from KP, not from anybody else. I've been asking TikTok questions. This is from me. Is that what they consider being your own bank? Is that that term?
Yes, okay. That's exactly what it is.
All right, and that makes a lot of sense, because it's your money. Yeah, it's your money, or what it sounds like. She's the expert. It's my money, and I'm pulling from my money to pay myself back my own money.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that way you can use it now and still get the benefits later, and it's still generating income.
That's huge, y'all. Y'all hear that? Listen, hey, that is huge, guys. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Evelyn said so much information and tons of people who don't know the difference. Thank you guys. No problem, Evelyn. Evelyn, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them too, or ask the questions on here. All right, TikTok. I think I grabbed all the ones from TikTok, so we can move to the next one. And this is the last question from the Academy. So, what are the different types? And this is a two-part question. I'm sorry that I asked it, or I'll ask it in two parts. But what are the different types of insurances small business owners can offer? So that's part one. And then what are the different types of insurances that small business owners can receive? So like I said, I'm sorry for the confusion, but it's let's use me again. What type of insurances can I have being a small business owner? And then what type of insurances can I offer my employees? Does that make sense?
Yes. So the
Okay.
first one is the key person insurance, which I kind of explained that. So that's essentially being the main kahuna of your company, getting that life insurance policy out on yourself and leaving the business as the beneficiary. So that's already a tax benefit alone, because you can write off a lot of those premiums that you're paying toward that policy, and it's not coming out of the employee's amount, their income that they make for that year. So things that you can do to kind of retain employees, just for their section. So you can get what's called an executive bonus plan. So this is just the tax code in case you want to look it up. It's section 162. So it's pretty much where you are able, as the employer, to buy or to pay toward, let me see how I want to say this. You can pay for life insurance policies, not the CEO or the owners.
Okay.
And it would need to be like people that are important. So you would pay for policies to where you would then receive the tax benefit as the business. And then you can turn around and pay the taxes for the person, because it's going to be included as income for the employee, even if it's a tax benefit for the employer. So to do a double taxing, you can pay the additional taxes for that employee, to where you would get to write it off twice.
Okay, look, that
You see what I'm saying?
listen, that's not like a cheat code.
Yeah, a little bit. It reduces that tax bracket, you know what I'm saying, for
Right.
the actual business, where the employee is still getting a benefit. And there's also a health insurance way to do that as well.
I got a one in from TikTok. Evelyn has one as well. So the TikTok one says, and he didn't put a comma, I believe it's 100,000. If I put 100,000 in my policy, how would I be able to pull it out? I'm guessing this came in a while ago. I'm guessing that is in reference to the pull your own money out. He says, if I put 100K in, how would I be able to pull it out? So I guess how can I use my own money?
So it would essentially be a loan. Now think about it. If you pull out $100,000 and it's a loan, they can't be used as taxable income. So you would essentially just call your insurance company. If you've already put that money in there for your policy, you would pull it out as a loan. You would be able to reduce that $1,000 because it's a loan. You don't have to like put that on your income. And then you would do whatever you're trying to do with the money. So it would be working capital, or it would be, I need to hire another employee, or however you would want to use those funds.
Okay, that came from Todd Crump. That was a good question, Todd. I appreciate it. So if you understood her, and I'll explain it again. What she said was, you can use it. You pretty much use it as if it was your own money. You call the insurance company, let them know that you want to take out however much, and it's untaxed, so it doesn't count as income. Now, question this, Tony. And this may not be in your area, but the income that I make from whatever I use that money for, is that money taxed?
Well, that's why most people use those type of strategies to buy assets. So that's why you're still going to make money. Like they'll go in and purchase a property to where they're still going to be able to receive money from that asset.
I got you. So it's like a full purchase. Okay. So I'll give an example, guys. And he used 100,000, but let's just use 250,000. If you guys have the money to do that, we're going to use this big number. Let's say my life insurance policy is at 250K, and I'm like, okay, I found a house in, let's say, a lesser state, maybe a rural area like Baltimore. Baltimore has really cheap houses. Baltimore, let's say I can get a house for 50K. I take 50K out of my policy to purchase that house. And then I, renovate it, flip it up, whatever, and now I'm renting the house out. The 50K that I took out, I now need to pay, but I can use the money that I'm making from the house to pay back the loan. So now it's a win-win, essentially. I now own a house that is a money-making asset, but using the money from that asset to pay back the loan that I took out against myself without paying interest, right?
Exactly.
Cool. So I do understand it. I do understand. That's great. Todd, he asked, where do I go to set one up? So we were going to get to that at the end, but while you're here, I guess, can you explain how would someone set that up with you?
You would come to me, of course. You would go to a life insurance agent, and they will be able to let you know, depending on what they offer, they will be able to let you know, like, this IUL or this whole life product will be able to provide or yield you this amount yearly. So you just kind of base it off of how much you need and how much you're willing to put into it.
Do you have a link that I can put in the chat for Todd and for other people that that want access to you, that are trying to reach out to you, that are trying to get a consultation or trying to sign up? Do you have a link that I can give them?
I do. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay, yeah. When you pull it up, just put it in the chat here, Tony, and I'll copy it and I'll paste it on TikTok. So, Todd, she's getting ready to give me her link, brother, and anybody else that's watching, I'll post her link on TikTok and I'll pin it for you guys. While you're doing that, I'll get to Evelyn's question. Evelyn's question was, my question is, what would be the benefit of someone going with term life and investing with that over whole life without the investments? I hope that makes sense. I think that's what I just explained, isn't it? I think. So I'm gonna read it again just in case it was unclear.
Yeah.
She said, you broke up a little bit. Say it again.
Well, because you can't use any cash value from that term policy. I don't know. Is it?
Okay. She said, all right, so Evelyn, if you're still with us, you can't use any money from the term policy. So the whole life, wait, maybe she didn't ask it right.
Policies.
Got you. So whole life is considered permanent. Is it just different names for the same thing?
Well, it's a type of permanent policy. So it can be whole life. It can be variable universal. It can be flexible universal. It can be index universal. But those are types of permanent policies that you can use for cash value.
Got you. All right.
I'm sorry, I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to talk and get the link at the same time.
All right. Okay. So that's good. Once you get your link, I'll send it. I'll post it in TikTok. 2 other people looking like they want it. So we got a couple people that are interested. Come on, Tony. Let's get these consultations rolling. Shanice, you got anything? We got it looks like the chat questions are answered.
Okay, so like I know we talking about, insurance for entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and Tony, I can't look, my mind has been foggy for the last couple of days, because my aunt just died. And, upon her dying, I realized that she didn't have life insurance at all, and I know like some people, when you think about life insurance, you don't think about young people dying. My aunt was only 38 years old, right? The cause of her death is still undetermined. We don't know. Everybody's speculating. Everybody has, in their head what happened. But the truth is we just don't know. 38 years old, she didn't even make it to 40 yet. So one thing that I was wondering, everybody in the family is like speculating. Did somebody have a policy on her? Was anybody paying anything? Is it possible to get a life insurance policy? Obviously, with the permission of the intended person, but is it possible to get like policies for family members and stuff like that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's my mind. I'm thinking about this, and this whole entire time, I'm just like reflecting back, like life insurance. And people, again, most people don't think about life insurance in the 30s. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, most of our elders didn't have life insurance. You know what I mean? So to have essentially one of the kids die so young, it's like life insurance really is, that important, even if it's term, just something so that the family isn't carrying the burden. Like my family, I'm fully insured. My kids are insured. I bought their policies when they were born. You know, because it's cheaper for that, or what, you know, for those reasons or whatever. So
Yeah, I definitely suggest that families get together and try to buy life insurance policies. That's like another step to it, because they will buy
okay,
life insurance policies and put it toward trust. That way, then it's like building the legacy.
okay.
Definitely do
Yeah,
that.
because I guess we're gonna have to have that conversation going forward to make sure that everybody is, you know, in some way, shape, or form is covered. Because, you know, a lot of my family aren't, not a lot. No one in my family, you know, with the exception of a few, are entrepreneurs. So everybody's employees. So their life insurance is life insurance through the company. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, you know, it's not really. I guess I've heard of people having policies on their employees, and then the policies pay out to the business, not to the, you know, to the family and stuff like that or whatever. So if you guys are, you know, don't have your own insurance, please reach out to Tony, get your own policy, you know, something that can accommodate your, yeah, you know, because you don't want to put your family in that burden, and then, you know, last minute everybody's kind of like scrambling together in a sense, you know, to kind of get everything together. That's scary, and it's a lot to think about in the moments that it's happening. Like my aunt died on Halloween, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I can't imagine what everybody else is going through, but I haven't been able to process. Take that burden off of people's plates. Please get life insurance. I don't care if it's just a small term policy. Please get life insurance, you know, so that people can focus on other things instead of the entire situation. Man, and I'm trying not to break down and cry, but it's a lot.
It's stressful, especially during the grieving. You know, you're mourning at this point, and now you still have to set up everything for their final arrangements. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
It is. And there's, you know, having life insurance, you know, regardless of the policy. I know a lot of people are like, you know, how can I use this? But we just don't know when our time is. You know what I mean? Just get something, y'all. Like, legitimately, please reach out. Get something small. Reach out to other family members. This is something that we should talk about. But while you're living, if you can benefit from it, pull out the loan. You know, get the policies where you can build the assets and things like that. You know.
And whether people know it or not, like, big companies use this life insurance strategy. Like Disney did this. He took a loan out on his life insurance policy. JCPenney has done this. I don't know if people watch sports, but did y'all see the guy recently that now is going to be able to get paid like $1.4 million a year off of just his life insurance policy that he got from like the people that were ahead? Like, it's too many.
I'm
too many ways.
It's mind blowing. Like, people don't understand the value of insurance. I'll tell you my how I look at it. So, as we're younger, we just hear life insurance for when you die, when you die, when you die. That's all you hear, when you die, because most people think life insurance is only good for when you die.
Exactly.
But the reality of it is, life insurance is better when you're living. You know, how I look at it is, if I get a life insurance policy, I'm guessing now I'm learning the different terminologies: whole life, or whole term, or whole perm, whichever one allows me to use the money while I'm alive. But let's say I have a policy that allows me to use it. I'm now investing in that policy. So instead of having a savings account, and this is what we should be taught, instead of having a savings account, I have a life insurance account, because it's a dual threat. I can save with that policy. But eventually, when I want to use that money, I can use it while simultaneously having a life insurance policy. Exactly. You know, a lot of people have these you know, thoughts where it's like, all right, I'm gonna save $10,000 and then go splurge. It could take you years to save $10,000. So if it's gonna take you years to save $10,000, why not protect yourself while trying to save $10,000? Exactly. Then when it comes time to spend $10,000, cool, it's your money anyway. Go ahead and spend it. I mean, you're gonna have to pay it back, you know, be responsible with it. But it's like, you should protect yourself, because God forbid, you know, you die before you actually get to that $10,000, you know.
Right.
Now, okay, cool, I was trying to save it, didn't make it, died, but guess what? My family, my wife, my kids, they got $500,000 on just from the fact that I was trying to save 10K this strategic way. Now I die, didn't make it, they get 500,000 instead of me opening a savings account trying to do it, me dying, and all they get is $8,400. You know, so that's how I look at it. It's more than just life insurance. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm looking at everything as an investment. How can this make me more money? How can this make me more money? If I'm using my own money to make more money, crazy. Them bank interest rates, you see anything over 4%. I'm talking about credit cards, car loans, houses, anything over 4% to me is robbery. You know, they are getting us. Don't get me wrong. It is great to use other people's money. Like, they definitely deserve to be paid. If a bank gives me $100,000, you know, to make money, then they definitely deserve to get paid. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it like, okay, you giving me $100K, I'm gonna go buy a business that's gonna generate me the $100K back in 3 years, pay you back, maybe give you an extra 10K on top of that, you know, from the fact that you gave me this money. But now I own a business that is generating me $30,000 a year or something, you know, in pure profits, thinking like that. But it all came from the bank's money, or now my money. We got 2 questions from TikTok. Let's see. It says, my question is okay, so it's kind of like three. My question is, if this exists, why did all of you wait till now to spread this out loud? Too many of you talking about it all now. I'm good. Life insurance for what your family to fight over. He said, nah, I'm good. Money ain't important. Y'all pushing money. Here is the bottom of it. Oh, so I guess he was just somebody that's upset about a money situation that's happened. But I can ask before you answer, Tony, because I know you're going to go crazy. I'll answer that for you. So obviously the reason that it's being spread now is because of social media. It's funny, me and Shanice was just talking about this.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was here. This was always here. It just wasn't able to be spread through social media platforms or through the internet like how things are getting spread now. 20 years ago, 20 years ago, wasn't internet just invented? Well, no, maybe like 30 years ago. But you're looking at it like, why is this information just getting out there? Because the rich and the wealthy didn't want everybody else to be rich and wealthy. So why would they spread that information?
Right.
They wanted to keep it with their families. All right, cool. Listen, I'm only looking out for me and my family. Exactly. I'm only going to teach me and my family. That's why it wasn't spread. So Justin Rosario, that goes to you, man. Like, the reason it wasn't widespread is because social media wasn't able to spread it. That's 100% the reason right there, man. He says, anything you do or buy, you're doing it with your own money and buying with your own money. Correct. So listen to what you're saying. It's almost like you're contradicting yourself. And I hate to go back and forth with people, but you're literally contradicting yourself. You're saying what we should be doing. If I'm using my own money, why not use my own money and be protected with the life insurance policy? You know, you're saying money. Yeah, I mean, to add on to what you said, Justin, you said it's money for my family to fight over. If you set up your will and set up your beneficiaries, there's nothing to fight over.
Look, hold on. Let me go another step further. When you get life insurance, I don't care how big or how small the policy is. My policy and my father's policy and my grandfather's policies, the way that we buy policies is so that all of the money accumulates and it goes into the family trust. Okay. You know how if people say trust fund babies, I would technically be considered a trust fund baby. Now, look, go take it to the next step. I don't believe in wills because wills, leave the legal room for you to have to go back and forth and go to court and things like that, which
Okay.
makes it complicated. And that's what people are going to fight over. When you purchase a home, your home should be inside of your family trust. When you purchase life insurance, your life insurance beneficiary should be your family trust or whatever. And then under the trust, you assign, this is what the trustees are for, you assign who you want the benefits to go for. So if I know that my family house can only appreciate, it can never depreciate in value. If I know that my house is taken care of and it goes to my family, that they don't have to fight. I know that all of the money that pays out for everybody's policy goes and then is divided up evenly amongst the trustees, then I don't have to, worry about my family fighting. Nobody's going to be at each other's throat. Nobody's going to be at each other's neck. The reason why all of this stuff is coming out now about like all of these life insurance policies and all of this stuff, it's so much things that certain communities had not been exposed to. So this is firsthand, the first time that we're ever getting this information. Before my granddad came into my life, because I just met him a few years ago, we didn't know that we had all of this stuff. We didn't know that, we didn't know how this stuff worked. We knew that when Nana passes, we knew that, okay, the house is going to go into a trust. We don't do probate court. There's nothing to fight about, and then the people fight and get up in arms when nothing is planned out. So if my family in their life is responsible, and then they turn around and they say, well, I have my death planned out, because even though we don't know when we're going to go, we know that we're going to go. This is something that you should regularly be talking about. How do you want your arrangement? Do you want an arrangement? Do you want to be cremated? If all of those decisions are made by you, the living person, in your death, your family does not have to worry about that. If you want to have a plot set aside in your life, have that set aside now. I want to be buried next to my family. We want a mausoleum or whatever it is. You have to make those decisions while you're living. That's not something to say, oh, well, I've got a policy, let me just put it on the family, because, I'm grieving, right? I'm currently grieving. And these are all the things that my family members who didn't have life insurance, these are all the things that's being put onto the family because none of this stuff was planned out. So if you want to avoid court, if you want to avoid all of that stuff, find a trust, get with an attorney, get a family trust started. Everybody pays into that, and then have it set up. Have some type of plan already planned, because death is inevitable. We know it's coming. So plan for that. And then figure out ways that you can utilize it so that you can benefit from it. If you're buying life insurance, if you have certain things or certain assets in your trust, those things you can't be sued and those items being taken away from you. Like, I'm not trying to, take away from the life insurance or anything, but there's so many things that we can do to protect our assets. There's so many things we can do to protect our families during that grieving period. Like, you have to sit down, you have to talk to somebody, and you have to think, like, when I go, what type of mess am I leaving for my family, for my children, for my grandchildren, whatever it is. Hopefully you live, 4 or 5 generations. Everybody doesn't have that. Then to me, that's a luxury. Everybody won't have that luxury. Plan for that, though.
Let me
And to kind of piggyback on that, I know he was saying something about as far as his family would fight for it, but life insurance has living benefits. You can use this as your own retirement tool. Like, this money that you're accumulating is cash value. Once you feel like you're ready to retire, or you put in money, you can start getting these payments to live off of while you're alive. So you don't even have to necessarily worry about the death benefit. It's very good to have it. But if you don't want to worry about that, that's fine. You can use the cash value that you've accumulated over this time to set yourself up to retire at a certain age, to where, hey, I know I'm going to get this stipend every month regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Let me add on what he was saying. I can respond to him. So he says, and that's why we are the way we are. Just like you said, you teach your own. Y'all talking about money. What about people? Aren't we equal, or aren't we? It's all good, brother. So let's pause there, because this is coming from KP, and everybody, y'all can feel this way. Y'all can feel opposite. But I said I'm gonna teach my own. I'm clearly on live on TikTok teaching you. You're my own. Because if we were selfish people, we wouldn't be sharing this with our communities. The reason why it's so widespread, and again, this is another contradiction from you, Justin. You're asking, why are people teaching this? Wouldn't you want people to teach this? It's almost like you're asking, why wasn't it taught before? And then getting mad that it's being taught now, which is kind of confusing. You know, you would want us to teach this. Why aren't the rich teaching this? That's what my question would be. Why is it that the middle class and low class are teaching you how to get to the high class? Why aren't the high class teaching us these things? Have you ever seen a millionaire willing to tell you how they made their millions? I mean, other than lifestyle marketing, but it's like the rich stay rich because they keep the real gems in house. We're just now getting to this. We're just now finding out that credit is important. But within the last 5 years or so, you know, nobody knew about credit until credit became a thing. And it's people that still don't know about credit. It's people that still don't know about life insurance. So my duty to my people, my community, my following is to teach you all everything that I'm learning. So that way people don't feel like how you feel, Justin. I mean, you're justified to feel how you feel, but you're kind of contradicting yourself with asking these type of questions on a live where we're helping you for free. You know, it's not like we're charging you. We're not going out our way to say, hey, sign up for a subscription and I'll teach you this. This is absolutely free, man. You got to think about it like this. You were scrolling on TikTok and stopped to hear information that you felt upset about, to express that you were upset that we were giving you the free information that you feel like should have been free anyway. That's a huge contradiction. It's like, I don't really know how to please you, man, at this point. So his next thing was, he said, to be honest, at a young age, I never gave any love to money because it doesn't make me. Not a single time on this live did any of us say money makes anybody. You know, so I don't even know where that came from. Let's see. Educate the beneficiaries on how to properly use the money and not act a fool. Correct. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're saying, guys. So this isn't a money thing. It is a beneficial thing. It's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I teach my family. It doesn't matter what I teach my kids. It doesn't matter what I teach my wife. I can teach them everything that I know. But if God forbid I die tomorrow, how is that going to benefit my family? Oh, dad taught me how to be a man. Dad taught me how to fish, and dad taught me how to start a business, but with what? Nothing. Now, if I have a $1 million life insurance policy, and I'm doing the exact same thing when I die, now I'm giving them capital to do the things that I taught them. That's the importance of these policies, guys. And I'm not pushing it. We're not forcing anybody to open up a life insurance policy. We're just trying to tell you all the importance of having one. Like, it's not about money. Money is the benefit, the benefit, but it's not just about money. It's not like, hey, get a life insurance policy. When you die, your family's rich. No, we're not. I don't want you to die so your family to get rich. It's just when you die, because it's inevitable. We are all going to die. When that day happens, unexpectedly or expectedly, you leave your family with something to carry on. You know, so I hope I didn't hurt any feelings with that, but it's like everybody's gonna have their own view of everything: life insurance, credit, money, being rich, being poor, being married, being single. Everybody has their own opinion, but our topic is life insurance, so you can't come in here contradicting yourself and not expecting the feedback I gave. So that's me. Everybody knows me. My following knows me. You guys know that I kind of go off the rails sometimes. Shanice was supposed to pull me back, but I guess she felt the same way.
I mean,
we got some questions on Facebook too, Tony. So these are for you.
Okay.
AJ, my brother, he's here. Shanice's husband. He said, what if I'm not planning to apply for a loan? Does my credit still matter?
Your credit doesn't matter when you're trying to get the loan based off your cash value with your loan, with your life insurance policy.
So that's good.
Y'all gonna have me mute. Y'all gonna have me mute.
So listen, what she said, it is good for what she said, but everybody, please, guys, credit is important. So even though your credit doesn't have to be good to get access to your money, you want your credit to be good. Like
Definitely.
we're not. This isn't a ring. I'm not going to do another rant and talk about how poor credit is because you should already know. But there's an added benefit. So that's another benefit, guys. And you want to think of it like this. Let's go back to Todd's 100K. If I need $100,000, right? Let's just say 5 years from now. We're going to push to the future. In 5 years from now, if I need $100,000 to start my business, to purchase a property, to purchase any type of asset, right? If my credit is bad, I won't have access to that money. Banks, lenders, nobody's going to give me $100,000. However, if I have a high enough policy where I've invested $100,000 over 5 years, I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but let's just say I hit that, right? Now, let's say my credit is bad. I have access to $100,000.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's still a benefit. It might take some time to accumulate 100K, but once you've accumulated it, if you're in a situation where your credit is bad, you can then take that money. Honestly, this is a cheat code, Jim, that I kind of just thought of it on my own just now. Let's say your credit is bad when you have 100K. It sounds like, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like I can take that money from my policy to fix my credit.
Yeah.
So my credit could be good to get access to even more capital.
Exactly.
To then pay it all back from money that I made from other people.
So rinse, repeat. Yes.
You see, so and listen, that's elevation KP going off the hinges. So it's like it's all important, man. Credit is important. Having life insurance is important. Who was that? AJ's question? Yeah. So AJ asked another one. He asked two more.
I think he came in late, so some of the questions we answered in mid rants. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the comments.
I got TikTokers coming in and out too, so it's cool, Tony.
Okay.
We give you the spotlight again. So AJ's question is, what does fully paid up mean on a permanent life insurance policy?
So most of the policies that you have for permanent, there is a specific amount that you can actually pay off the policy in advance. A lot of them are with whole life policies. So they might say, hey, if you pay $50,000, I'm just using that number, up onto the policy, at that point, you're going to receive that full death benefit. You don't have to worry about any more premium payments, and you can still take money out of this account.
Okay. Now, let's just do hypotheticals. Can you give us a scenario, and every number she's going to give in this example is going to be made up. Can you give us like a example, like a made up example on how it will work? Let's say I got a $500,000 policy. How would that work with the pay up?
Okay, so a $500,000 policy, that's going to be a little steep. So let's say that they tell you that your paid off amount for the policy is that $100,000 that you were talking about. So what you would do is max fund that account. Instead of putting money into a savings, you would max fund that life insurance policy until you reach that policy paid off amount. And from there, now you have the death benefit already paid for. You have money that you can accumulate or you can borrow from while it's still increasing in the account.
Do I no longer have to make my monthly payments? Am I maxed out?
You're done.
Oh shit! Excuse me.
Look, right. All right. Let me call my insurance adjuster real quick.
So AJ, that was a great question. I'm glad you asked that. See, I didn't know that. So pretty much with the whole life insurance, so once you hit that maximum numbers, what it sounds like, you no longer have to pay on that policy, but the policy grows until you die. Correct?
Exactly.
Let me. Tony, after this, let me schedule with you because I might have some numbers. Listen, tell me what number I need to hit. I want to open my policy with that amount in it.
Yes.
Not to pay anything. I got another one from TikTok. So it says, does your credit score matter to qualify for a whole or term insurance? If it does, will it determine the policy amount?
No, your credit doesn't reflect the amount of what you will be able to get. So the biggest things, like we said earlier, is age and health. Okay,
age and health. So yeah, credit does not, when it comes to opening your policy, credit does not matter. However, as I always, whenever I down credit, I always put it up. Credit matters in every other aspect of life. So guys, please don't. I know we're giving y'all these credit doesn't matter tips when it comes to life insurance, but we all know credit matters. Period. Like, get your credit up, get your credit fixed. It will help you in other areas. I mean, hell, if you have a great life insurance policy and a great credit score, you have access to even more money. Because like Tony said, once I get it to 100K, I have 100K that I can pull from my own money. But guess what? What if I need 200K? Now I can go to Wells Fargo, and with a 750 plus, they might give me another 100K. So even though that their money is has interest, I still have twice as much because I had good credit. So it's huge. And remember, we always talk investments, we always talk assets, we always talk growth. So we're not looking at it like, oh man, I got 200K, let me travel the world. No, we're looking at it like, oh, I got 200K, let me buy a business that's going to generate me 200K revenue in 5 years or even sooner.
We're doing this to not have debt.
We're purchasing assets. We won't say we won't have debt, because we're definitely getting debt free, but good debt, such as asset producing debt, is okay. AJ has another one, and then we got one more for TikTok. So AJ says, does the policy provide, oh yeah, he did come late. Does the policy provide living benefits?
Yes. So that was kind of what we were saying as far as the cash value, as well as if you were to get a chronic illness, or if you needed to go into a long-term facility or something like that, you can pull those funds out of the policy and still have that benefit as well.
All right, there you go. And then we got one more from TikTok. What about bad health? So I guess this is related to the question that was asked before her. So we asked, does your credit score matter? And I believe she says, what about bad health? Does health matter?
Well, I mean, there's still policies that you would be able to get even if you have fairly bad health. Now, it all depends on which carriers you would go to. So that would be more of a specific question, like depending on who I'm talking to. But yes, there are a lot of policies that you can get with bad health.
All right. And here's another one. Is there any type of health that would cause me to get rejected from all types of life insurance? So I'm guessing they're asking, like, is there any, and they didn't ask this, but I'm guessing, like, let's say someone's HIV positive, or someone has AIDS, or, a very bad health issue, something that is already wrong with them. Mm-hmm. Is there any situation where you cannot get life insurance?
For those two that you just named, you can still get policies with those. And another thing is, it depends on if you did have a health issue, how recent was it?
Okay.
So if this is like last month, then yeah, it might be a little bit difficult. But there's still policies that you can get, which are like final expense policies, and ones that don't offer as much bang for your buck, I guess.
Okay, but so pretty much there isn't, and I won't quote you, but there isn't any situation where your health can be so bad that you can just be denied across the board for everybody.
No.
So it's just the worst, I guess. Because her next question was any suggestions, but I'm assuming the worse your health, the lower quality health insurance you'd get life insurance. I'm sorry.
Or the smaller amount of the death benefit it will be.
Okay.
So then we might have to look at more of those term policies or some of those final expense ones to kind of, see what you need coverage for. It might not pay off the amount of your house, but it's going to cover, the things that you need in the final stages of life, like sitting at the funeral and doing things like that.
Hey, Letitia, so I pinned her consultation link. That she said any suggestions, so that would probably be person by person dependent. So you would definitely need to reach out to her, because I'm sure she's gonna have personal questions that she need to ask you, or anyone else in specific situations. Like it's not. I wouldn't want to put your public information. I wouldn't want to put your personal information in the public. Like, this is on live, and I don't want anybody to know your personal situation. So if you want to go ahead and schedule a consultation with her, it's absolutely free to schedule. And then she can get to know a little bit more about you or whoever you're referencing to help you out with that. All right, so we're caught up. We're caught up. TikTok, I'm good. Looks like the feed, we're good. If anybody has any questions, we have another 5 minutes before we close out. Tony, look, we didn't even need your PDF. We did good, right?
Hey.
Tony created this.
I have a question. I bought policies for my kid. Well, I already know the answer, but but I'm asking anyway because somebody else might have this question. So I already have policies for my children that I purchased really, really, really young, right? And I purchased whole life for them. Can they turn around when they get older or turn 18 or whatever? Can they take out their own life insurance policies on themselves? And how will it impact the original policy?
Definitely. I mean, that's just another separate policy that they would in turn, So yeah, they can have as many policies as they can afford.
I was gonna say I got 2. Don't tell the kids that. I don't want them to be like, yeah,
Okay,
Daddy got 2 policies. But yeah, that was a good question. I'm trying to think of. Okay, so back to the kids again because we have them as well. Would it be a benefit to getting life insurance for your children earlier in terms of cost? Like my youngest is 4; she's turning 5 next week. Would it be beneficial to her when she becomes an adult to open up her life insurance policy now? Would she retain that rate for the rest of her life, or how does that work?
Yes, it does. They're gonna hold their rate.
Okay, so like I think we got quoted. I think Kaya, it was like $14 for like $500,000. It was ridiculous. But I guess because she's 4, it's like because she's so young, the life expectancy is no time soon. So it's like, is that how that works? They expect to be able to make that money over the next 30 years. Okay. So that's good. That's good. I mean, that's huge for parents, guys. If you can get life insurance policies for your children at anything under $50 a month, that's going to be a steal for them when they become adults. We love our children. We want to do what's best for our children. This is a very good benefit for your children. Hell, listen, if you're like me, I'm teaching my sons, my daughters don't want to learn yet, but I'm teaching my sons about investing money. So when we opened up their policies, I told them, I said, listen, by the time you turn 20, you might have over $200,000 in your life insurance policy because it doubled. We didn't talk about that either. The policy that also increases every year because of the what is it? What's the word? Compound interest. We didn't talk about that, but that was another thing. So like, it adds value, right? It's like every year you're putting in X amount, but every year that gets more because of the interest that money's making. So after 20 years, hell, listen, I'm already 33. 20 years for me, I'll be 53. 20 years for Kaya, my youngest is 4. 20 years for her, she's only 24 or 25, right? Exactly. So imagine having a $24 a month policy at 25. You know how hard it is to get that, if even possible. I don't even know if you can get policies that low when you start to get up in age. Yeah, look, you see Tony's face. It's hard. So help your children out. These are things to go back to that guy Justin when he was saying, yeah, why is this just being taught now? Because the rich wanted the rich to stay rich forever. Yeah, they didn't want the poor to get rich. Now we have social media, we have platforms, we have people helping the communities and helping the lower class. This is how we get rich and stay rich. Yeah. Help your children out. Listen, and I don't know if this is a real thing, Tony. Or let me ask you, what is the lowest policy you've ever seen for a child or for a person? Period. What's the absolute lowest you've ever seen monthly?
I think it was like $11.
$11, people. Listen to that. I don't know how old that child was or if that was an adult, whatever. But imagine if you could pay 11. What was the policy amount? Do you remember?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Well, let's just say $250. Might have been more, might have been less. Let's just say $250. Imagine being covered for $250,000 for $11 a month. That's less than $150 a year. You know what I'm saying? You're getting protected for 200, and again, it might have been higher because it was a child, but you're getting protected for however much money, so that way, and don't forget, it compounds, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. For pennies, we got one more. Tony, how much or average money? Okay, he says, Tony, how much or what's the average cost for a policy for a child? Let's say under 10. Is there like an average number that you're used to seeing?
Honestly, no. I mean, it's still going to be about in the same range, like $11, $12, something like that.
Have you ever seen a child over $40 a month?
No.
Like any okay. So with that being said, she's never, and I won't say it's impossible because remember, health does matter, and unfortunately, children do have health issues. But she's never seen a child with the life insurance policy over $40 a month. That's you're looking at a Netflix bill, y'all. You're looking at Hulu. You guys, you pay for these services, but you won't pay the same amount to protect your child. Come on, man. It's at this point, it's like, where are your priorities? That's how I look at it. If you telling me,
look, go ahead. So that would be a situation where I would definitely, because that's a fixed expense that goes on auto pay, on a credit card, on a checking, whatever. That would be on auto pay. And I know people are like anti-auto pay, but that right there, as you know, don't let a policy like that lapse. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something that it has to be an ongoing payment, either pay it in full when you get your taxes. For me, that's when I got, before I became an entrepreneur, that's when I got life insurance for my entire family. I used my tax refunds and I was like, I need a policy for everybody, paid them up for the year. And every year during tax season, whenever I would get a refund, that's how I would pay my policies for the year. So I didn't have to worry about anything for 12 months. And I know people are like, oh, I'm going to go buy blah, blah, blah. Life insurance for me mattered that much. I knew I was getting a lump sum. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not going to make plans with the money. Tax season, life insurance, boom. And I don't have to worry about it until next year.
Exactly.
Sorry, I was typing to someone. All right, we got another one. We already talked about it, but remember, people are coming in as they come in. Someone said, can you talk about, can you talk more about how the policy can be used for retirement?
Yes. So what this is, you would put the money towards your cash value. Let's say that you said you were going to pay $10,000 a month into this policy. So it's already, we're going to say that the interest rate on what your compound is 7%. So if you do $10,000 a month, that's what, $120,000 a year. So it's going to compound at that 7%. So if you do this even for 5 years, think about the amount that you have in your cash value. So at that point, you can then turn around and pay yourself out of this policy to be a retirement fund.
Okay. This it just says user with a bunch of numbers. Did you understand that? I'll just call you user 37. It's when you don't name your TikTok, it's just a bunch of numbers. I won't read all the numbers. It's like at least 12 numbers. Did you understand that, or if you had a follow-up question, I can ask it for you. If not, I think we're good. So we don't have any. Okay, he said he understood it. Gotcha. All right. So to wrap it up, because we've been on here for about an hour, we pretty much covered term life insurance, perm life insurance, how to use life insurance to invest, how to use life insurance to retire, how to use life insurance to protect your family, the importance of life insurance, not needing to have good credit for to qualify for life insurance. Credit is important, and all the other things. So it's like, 1 second. All right. And that's pretty much to wrap it up. So I'll do my thank yous after YouTube. Do you have anything, Shanice?
No, I don't have anything. Okay.
Tony, you got anything you want to close out with?
The more you know. That's all I can close out with.
All right. And again, guys, in the somebody said wait. All right, so we got one more coming in. We got one more. I'll ask that. I'll do the closeout and then we'll ask that question. So pretty much, I posted Tony's link in the comment section on both Facebook and TikTok. So if you guys want to schedule with her, feel free to click the link. It is a free consultation. You guys are not paying anything. She just needs to ask you a couple personal questions, figure out what your health situation looks like to give you a price. You tell her the policy you're looking for and talk to her, man. Ask her, drill her with questions. Drill her. This is your life. This is your money. Drill her with questions, and she'll get you guys a good number. Okay, so the last question before we close out. It says, is there a minimum amount to start a new policy?
No. I mean, depending on what they say that your rate is for how much you're trying to get for that death benefit, that's your minimum.
There you go. All right, so there is no minimum amount. Depends on your age and your health. That will determine what your policy number is. So again, appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone for stopping by TikTok. Thank you guys for all the follows and the likes. Facebook, thank you all for the questions. You were going crazy today. Instagram, every Wednesday. I apologize to you all. I don't know why, but your comments are not coming through. Maybe it's a restream issue. Maybe it's something that I didn't do right, but I apologize to you guys because unless nobody's commenting from Instagram, but we never see Instagram comments come in here. So I want to apologize to you guys again. And that's it. That's the show. We see y'all next Wednesday.